Good morning. I have a book for you today, and it is called Just the Way You Are, and it's written by Max Lucado or Lucado. I still don't really know how you say his name. I always say Lucado, but I'm not sure if that's right. And I also, I think tomorrow we'll post a family activity. I'm gonna film it today, but we will post it tomorrow. And it goes along with the 4th of July, and you can make your own fireworks. So look out for that post, and I hope that you try it at your house. They are safe fireworks, so no explosives needed. So hopefully you guys will try it and see what that is like. And I hope that you all have a fantastic 4th of July. We will be back next week with another family activity and another book. I'm running out of books, so that might have to stop pretty soon. But family activity should be able to continue at least for a little while. So I'm going to start this, and if anyone joins us, fantastic. If not, then it'll be available later. So, Just the Way You Are. A long time ago, in a land much like your own, there was a village, and in the village lived 5 orphans, a lonely family of fatherless children. They had banded together against the cold. One day, the king learned of their misfortune and decided to adopt them. He announced that he would be their father and would come for them soon. When the children learned that they had a new father and their father was the king and that the king was coming to visit, they went wild with excitement. I love the pictures in Max's books. When the people of the village learned that the children had a father, and that their father was the king, and that the king was coming to the village, they were excited as well. They went out to see the children and told them what to do. "You need to impress the king," they explained. "Only those with great gifts to give will be allowed to live in the castle." The people didn't know the king. They just thought that all kings want to be impressed. So the children began preparing gifts to offer the king. They worked long and hard to be sure the king would approve. What kind of gifts do you think you would create to impress a king? One of the children, who knew how to carve, decided to give the king a wonderful work of wooden art. He set his knife against the soft bark of the elm and whittled. The small blocks of wood came alive with the eyes of a sparrow or the nose of a horse. His sister decided to present the king with a painting that captured the beauty of the heavens, a painting worthy to hang in his castle. Another sister chose music as her way to impress the king. For long hours, she practiced with her voice and mandolin. Village people would stop at her window and listen to her music, listen as her music took wings and soared. Yet another child set out to turn the king's head with his wisdom. Late hours would find his candle lit and his books open. Geography, math, chemistry. The breadth of his study was matched only by the depth of his desire. Surely a king would appreciate all his knowledge. Our children's sermon this week is going to talk a little bit about history. But there was one sister who had nothing to offer. Her hand was clumsy with a knife, her fingers stiff with the brush. She wasn't much of a reader. She believed she had no talent. And so she believed she had no gift. All she had to offer was her heart. For her heart was good. She spent her time at the city gates, watching the people come and go. She would earn pennies to buy food for her brothers and sisters by grooming people's horses or feeding their animals. She was a simple stable girl, but she had a good heart. She knew the beggars by name. She took time to pet each dog. She welcomed home the travelers and greeted the strangers. "How was your journey?" she would ask. "Tell me what you learned on your visit. How is your husband? "Do you enjoy your new work?" She was full of questions for people because her heart was big and she cared about people. They were all the same to her, the beggars and the rich. She cared for all of them just the way they were. Don't you like it when people are interested in you? Don't you feel important when people ask you questions about things? Like maybe you told them you were going to go on a big vacation and then the next time they see you, they ask you about it because they were actually listening and they actually care. That's a good way to let people know. But since the little girl thought she had no talent and no gift, she was afraid that the king would be disappointed. She remembered the villagers' advice and set her mind about the task of making a gift for the king. She took a small knife and went to her brother, the carver. "Could you teach me to carve?" she asked. "Sorry," the young craftsman responded without looking up. "I've much work to do. I haven't time for you. The king is coming, you know." The girl put away her knife and picked up a brush. Where do you suppose she's headed next? What do you think's going to happen? She went to her sister, the artist. She found her on a hill painting a sunset on a canvas. "You paint so beautifully," said the girl who had no gift but a big heart. "I know," the painter answered. "Could you share your gift with me?" "Not now," the sister responded with eyes on her palette. "The king is coming, you know." The girl with no gift then remembered her other sister, the one with the song. "She will help me," she said. Do you think she will? Is it going to work? When she arrived at her sister's house, she found a crowd of people waiting to listen to her sister sing. "Sister," she called, "Sister, I've come to listen and learn." But her sister couldn't hear. The noise of the applause was too loud. With a heavy heart, the girl turned and walked away. Then she remembered her other brother. She took a book with small words and big letters and went to see him. What do you suppose is going to happen? Is he going to help her? "I have nothing to offer the king," she said. "Could you teach me to read so I might show him my wisdom?" The young sage-to-be didn't speak. He was lost in thought. The child with no gift spoke again. "Could you help me? I have no talent." "Go away," said the scholar, scarcely moving his eyes from the text. "Can't you see I'm preparing myself for the coming of the king?" And so the girl went away sadly. She had nothing to give. She returned to her place at the city gates and took up her task of caring for people's animals. Because remember, she has a big heart for people and for animals. Imagine how you would feel if you were the girl. After some days, a man in merchant's clothes came to the small town. "Can you feed my donkey?" he asked the girl. The orphan jumped to her feet and looked into the brown face of the one who had traveled far. His skin was leathery from the sun and his eyes were deep. His kind smile warmed the girl's heart. "That I can," she answered eagerly, leading the animal to the trough. "Trust him to me. When you return, he will be groomed and fed." "Tell me," she asked as the donkey drank, "have you come to stay?" "For only a while. I'm looking for someone." "Are you weary from your journey?" "That I am." "Would you like to sit and rest?" The girl motioned to the bench near the wall. The tall man sat on the bench, leaned against the wall, closed his eyes, and slept. Remember that she was good at caring about people, right? So she was just being normal, she thought, asking questions, being nice, having a conversation with the man. Wonder who he is. After a few minutes, he awoke and found the girl sitting at his feet, watching his face. She was embarrassed that he had caught her staring. She turned away. "Have you been sitting there long?" "Yes." "What do you seek?" "Nothing. You seem to be a kind man with a peaceful heart. It's good to be near you." The man smiled and stroked his beard. "You are a wise girl," he said. "When I return, we will visit more." Remember just a few pages ago how sad she was? And this one person has made her feel so happy. I wonder where he's headed. The man did return quite soon. Did you find the ones you were seeking? The girl asked. I found them, but they were too busy for me. What do you mean? The first one I came to was a woodsmith, rushing to complete a project. He told me to return tomorrow. Another was an artist. I saw her sitting on a hillside, but the people below said she did not want to be disturbed. The other was a musician. I sat with the others and listened to her music. When I asked to talk with her, she said she had no time. The other I sought had left. He has moved to the city to go to school. Do those jobs sound familiar? A woodsmith, someone who carved, a painter, and a musician. Where have we heard those before? All too busy. The girl's eyes widened as she realized who the man was. But you don't look like a king, she gasped. I try not to, he explained. Being a king can be lonely. People act strangely around me. They ask for favors. They try to impress me. They bring me all their complaints. But isn't that what a king is for? Asked the girl. Certainly, responded the king, but there are times when I just want to be with my people. There are times when I want to talk to my people, to hear about their day, to laugh a bit, to cry some. There are times when I just want to be their father. Is that why you adopted the children? That's why. Adults think they have to impress me. Children don't. They just want to talk to me. They know that I love them just the way they are. But my brothers and sisters were too busy? They were. But I'll come back. Maybe they'll have time for me another day. The girl hesitated. Sir, what about me? I have no gift, but I would like to be your child. The king smiled. My dear, you gave the best gift of all. You gave your heart. Your kindness, your time, your love. Of course you'll be my child. I love you just the way you are. And so it happened that the children with many talents but no time missed the visit of the king, while the girl whose only gift was the gift of her heart became the child of the king. And that is the end of the story. So you can take the story for what it is, or I am wondering if that story might be telling the story of another king that we know. Who might be another king that we know in our lives? Maybe a guy named Jesus, right? Came to us as a baby, and people knew they were expecting a king. But did anyone expect him to be a baby? He wasn't big. He wasn't powerful. He didn't have an army of people behind him. He came to us as a baby. But he grew to be a man, and he saved us all by dying on the cross for us. And now we get to enjoy him being our Father, and the fact that no matter who we are or the mistakes that we make, that he loves us and he wants to be our Father. But he wants us to want that. So you have to let him know that you want that as well. And he will always have time for us, but he also wants us to have time for him. And sometimes we can get busy and our lives can get really full. So right now, when we have a little bit more time, as we're home with our families, hopefully we're using that time to spend some more time with God too, because that just makes him so happy. And not only does it make God happy, but it fills our hearts too. And it's something that is just, irreplaceable. Nobody else can fill our lives the way Christ can, just like a father does. So that's our story for this week, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope that you have a great 4th of July weekend. And if you enjoyed this story, you can comment down below, and we will see you again next week. See ya.